regional director.
Yeah.
I remember we had it in Parliament and the
Exactly.
parliamentary.
But you said here this morning that you appointed.
Look, the difference is this. Doctor, no, Dr. Bonibwaba. Doc, the difference is this. The difference is this. No, this one, they are not regional collation. They are collation officers. Let's look at the difference.
They will assist at the regional level.
They are collation officers. They are not regional collation officers.
Clarification. Yes. When you appoint a collation officer at the constituency,
the regional collation officer.
You call that person a constituency collation officer. But when you appoint a collation officer in the region,
yes,
you decide not to call
because we have the name regional collation officer in the law.
In the law.
But they already have the regional collation officer in the law. You see, all this collation officer business, nomenclature is the bane. Perhaps if you haven't issued the appointment letters, appoint them as assistants to the returning officer, assistant to the regional director, and you will solve the problem. Because you see, you cannot in one breath.
Let us read what is in the law first.
Yes.
Let us understand the wordings of it.
Which law are you talking about?
Is
it the CI? Is it Regulation 38?
38.
No, that's why.
Hold on.
Okay, read.
Appointment of regional coalition officer. It means there is no regional coalition officer. You are yet to appoint. And it says that the commission may appoint a regional director. It doesn't mean that the regional director is the coalition officer. It says the commission may appoint the regional director or a deputy regional director of the commission or any other person. It does not mean automatically your regional director is a coalition officer. That is my understanding.
Which will.
Unless otherwise, there is a big difference.
Continue. The one is as a regional coalition officer in each of the regions.
In Ghana.
Yes.
So you will decide who is.
So please, let's make progress. So regulation, please. No, let's make regulation 38 is purely about the regional coalition. But what we are saying is that the people who are going to support the region, they are not the regional coalition officer, because the regional coalition officer is provided in law. So that one is very, very clear. So they are going to assist.
So that's why the name is assistant.
No, that one we don't have to consult you.
Please. You are reading CI, even the Constitution. Some members of Parliament, even Speaker, will have his own interpretation. Please, we are not here to do interpretation. You are telling us that you've appointed somebody who will help with collation at the constituency level, at the regional level. Please, let's move on.
The name can be assistant. The name can also be.
Mr. Tete, let's take the last one. Please, stop. Please, stop. Please, let's move. Please, we need to discharge you so that you continue with your campaign. So let's take the final.
Are you able to define a coalition officer to us?
You let citizen finish, then we'll respond to you, please.
All right. There are some few things that have been said, and I would like to add a little bit of consistency. You see, I think it is not assuring enough for me, and probably some of us, even with the general public, if the EC says that political party reps were supposed to do their job to ensure that all these things are done. Then what if I don't have an agent at a particular place? It means anything can happen. So for me, it is not reassuring. I think you, rather than your own internal checks to see that there was a problem, that should have been emphasized. But to to use the situation about political parties being blamed for the shortages, I think
blame parties.
it is
Blame parties.
the other thing I want to talk about was there was a lot going on in social media, and I thought this opportunity will clarify that. So it has been named that some officers of the EC are politically deemed. The EC has been doing well in responding to issues that have been raised on your portals. But this one, I haven't heard from the EC.
Which one is that?
Is it the case or not?
Political
Where, I mean, the issues of Roma, East, Joaboso, Ibrahim, I mean, that some officers of the EC are taken. What is the situation with that? I think you need to clarify these things so that in the minds of everyone, we have said that it is the case or not. And I think this issue of giving names to political parties and the timing. So in case you give us a name on Sunday, and I have an issue on it, how can I raise it when the following day there is special meeting? So I think it is important that we clarify all these things. And the coalition, you see, you were saying that the regional coalition officers is by law. So it means that what you are going to do is not by law. So that is illegal.
No.
So if you are saying that one thing you are doing is by law and it's named it, but the other one that you are going to do is not by law, then it's by what? And you've not also explained the different dynamics in terms of the different duties that they are responsible for. And if in case there is disparity, whose own are we going to go with? All these issues, I think, need to be clear so that all of us are on the same page. There was another issue of the media in terms of restrictions and all that. I think this is also another opportunity for us to leave this room with some form of clarity and assurances from you. Once you get these opportunities, I think it's good that you clarify why some of these things, so that everybody will, because the media are not getting opportunity to ask questions here, I'm sure, so that they can be clear in their minds what the situation is. I think.
Okay, so let's try and then address those few questions. And we've said over and over and over with respect to the recruitment. We said.
Let me add this.
I think Dr. Wangwa generated.
Generators, renting of generators. I know it has come for us to discuss before in terms of your budget, and probably this can be something that others will support. It wasn't in the EC's budget to rent generators or procure generators.
For what?
Is there something that, because I know some areas, even renting the generators is going to be a challenge. In some constituencies, renting generators is going to be a challenge. And we are voting, we are doing this on the weekend with all activities and all that. So it's something that you can consider.
Okay, so
Thank you very much.
yes, we've said this over and over. You know, we advertise, and then people apply. We set up interview panels, and then we interview people, the successful applicants. We give the names to the political parties and all that. So it is up to the parties if they have any issue raised. We set up committees, and then we investigate, and then do otherwise. The other one is maybe we may have to take a look at the law again, because it is giving us 10 days, very close to our training periods, and either we actually do our trainings, yes. So either we do our trainings before the 10 days so that we can give the names to you. So that is something that we've also taken note of. As for the interpretation, the definition of who a regional coalition officer and all that, we cannot actually, it will take us the whole day, because people have different interpretations of what it is. So on this note, Fred, let's yes, that's what I am saying, that yes, we have interpreted the way we think it should. Others are also interpreting it in a different way. So we cannot actually get to a consensus. So let's move on, Fred.
No, which
My
one?
question is absent register list has still not been answered. So page 9. The first time I asked, it wasn't answered. This time it's also being prioritized. It ought to be answered and give a definition.
So I think we can call it a day now.
No.
So what other question? What's
I asked a question the last time. You were here. You didn't answer. I have asked them again. You're brushing it aside disrespectful.
So what's your question? Manti, what's your question?
I'll be no, I'm not saying offer this one. This is not fair. He clearly told. I asked him, Fred,
what's the
did
question?
you hear me? He said yes, he heard it. That is written. And then he comes to ask me again. That was the question I asked.
The one about the 844, the definition of a collation officer.
844.
Now 844, I think the commission explained that some polling stations were collapsed. So because of that, we had to transfer those individuals to other polling stations. And as a result of that, it will bring some discrepancy in terms of the absentee voters, the transfer and the special voter. That's what we explained. If you want the list of those particular polling stations, you can reach out to the commission. We'll make those particular polling stations available.
We have written more than.
Have you written?
No,
So, and I think.
We have written more than 2.
And I think you also asked about who is a collation officer, a definition of. We said.
If you are not defining or answering, we can close. I don't have a problem with that. But it is on record that anytime we ask questions that are more relevant, brush it aside.
No, we don't brush. Our job is to respond to you. The collation officers, as we said, their job is to assist in the collation of the results at the constituency.
And we said that the mistrust that is generating on the EC is what is causing the problems we have.
No, it's not true. It's not true. That's not true. And I think, citizen, you were asking something about, we said the law. I think we made it very clear that in CI 127, the law allows us to appoint people to assist the returning officer. And CI, the same CI 127 regulation 38 is very clear on those who can be appointed as regional collation officers. So when you ask a question that this one is not based on law, then you are not being fair to the commission. Maybe you don't have a copy of the law. Get a copy and look at it. And so look at it, and it's very clear.
You yourself said that for the regional collation
it's provided. No, it's the law.
And then you said that is different from the other collation officers. Then I'm saying, which law is the other collation officer?
No, and I mentioned regulation 23B is there. 23B. And look at it. So, Mr. Tete, let's move. No, you have another question. No, talk about the accreditation for the polling station. Polling station, those the group. No, he's talking about the polling station. Not those the number of people, 2 people.
It's important. We are having December 2nd. And special voting. After that, we go to the general election. There are 3 areas we are not doing. And we're not going to have a line. One, unless you're going to invite them this weekend, they will come.
So, what are the grey areas?
Ballot distributions. When are you doing it? The materials are very important. Are we doing it December 6th or December 6th? Not the first time, but we did it at where they somewhere.
No, go on. Ballot distribution.
So we must know the date we are doing that. Second, the special voting. When we finish voting, we know we are not counting. We will count to December 2nd. What happened to the BVD?
The BVD, okay. Okay, number 3.
What happened to it? Another one we want to know is this accreditation thing. That was in terms of our agents. But what of observers?
Observers for who? The parties?
The parties.
Okay.
We must know how many are you giving us for each coalition center. Because we know, apart from our agents, we also have
observers
who will come in to support. So we must know how many. So I will be on the way to if we are not trying
to them.
We go behind the scene, say, come in the window of other things. So give us a number of all those. Then the national level. how many are you giving us per each political party? That we know.
I think that one we mentioned it.
Yes.
The National Coalition.
No.
Observers.
The task. So we must know
Observers.
You said it 5 cities. I'm just mean that you continue to maintain the 5 cities.
Okay, so
and the last one is please see all these difficulties we are going through. Because of the nomenclature you are creating, which doesn't exist in the CI. Don't create new team. That doesn't exist. We will have to we don't understand nomenclature. That's what
okay, let's answer the questions. The first, Mr. Dr. Tanku, with the distribution of the ballots, you know, we cannot actually say that today, 13th, we are starting distribution of ballots, because even if you look at Afram Plains, North and South, where to airlift the ballots and other things, but usually it's on the eve of the elections that ballots are distributed.
Depends on the
depending upon some of the distances, the terrain and other things. So you cannot get one fixed date. Yes. So at the constituency level, the regional constituency levels, you know, these things can actually be
discussed with the
yes. They can discuss them, you know. Either than that, we may have to, ask them to give us dates that, for instance, if you look at the distribution of the ballots and then the BVDs from the national to the regional to the district, we wrote to the political parties indicating the dates that we are doing all these things, you know. So with this one, it can be done at the constituency level. With the special voting, we all know that we don't count. So the arrangement that the Commission has made is that the BVD and the statement of poll and declaration of results will be put into one ballot box, sealed and kept at the police armory. Yes. Okay. As for the accreditation, the observers, you know, we are still compiling the list. So we'll let you know when we are done with it. Thank you. You said the numbers.
The numbers.
We are still compiling. Yeah. So we are still compiling them. So we'll let you know.
We'll write to you and tell you the numbers you are getting.
Exactly.
No, we know we received a letter from you.
Yes.
So we'll respond to it.
Yes.
We'll respond to all the parties to know what.
On this note,
we'll write to
Short one.
Come and ask.
No, we have to work into another thing.
Anytime you call for a meeting, you give a specific time. You don't come on time. And when we want to air our views to you are rushing us to close.
Run away.
Please, we beg you. We don't have other things to do.
Who is this for?
We are asking questions that benefit everyone, especially Ghanaians.
Who is this for? So this is currently the Inter-Party Advisory Committee meeting, where political parties have their rep here, basically interacting with the Electoral Commission on matters of concern. Obviously, this is going to be the last IPAC meeting before the election, and don't forget the special voting will take place on December 2nd, when the main or the general election is going to happen on December 7th. And generally, as we speak, we can say that a number of concerns have been raised. But basically, the Electoral Commission invited the party reps to brief them on a number of issues, pertinent issues that are in the public domain. And most of the political parties here registered their displeasure with a number of things. Now, one key issue that came up at this particular IPAC meeting is that they want to know the faces of the workers that the Electoral Commission is going to engage at the various polling centers. And according to the CI, or the regulation guiding this year's election, the workers of the Electoral Commission are supposed to be displayed at the various polling centers so that political parties can ascertain the independence or otherwise of the workers or the temporary staff of the Electoral Commission. And this, the EC says, the workers or the temporary staff are currently undergoing training, and that training would probably end some 3 days to the general election or the special voting, which is supposed to take place on December 2nd. And this, they say they are not pleased with, because they were hoping to see the workers of the Electoral Commission before the poll starts. Then again, another issue that came up was the fact that the EC said that the discrepancies in terms of the shortfall that were noticed during that actually prompted the release of a statement has to do with the fact that they let's speak briefly on what you raised. Very pertinent issues today at the IPAC meeting. What were some of your concerns, and were they addressed? First introduce yourself to us.
Nana Osapon. And basically, some of these things we try as much as possible to raise them, and they have found a very cunning way to always avoid these questions. And these are very critical issues. You understand? Yesterday you called.
The question specifically?
Now, if you look at the results summary that they sent to us, there is an item 9. They identified some persons, 884 of them, that can actually have an impact on any results. Now, we are saying that you say you have their records. These persons do not belong to a particular polling station. Give us the definition. Where would they be voting? How would these persons vote? If I am part of that list, let me know, so that we do not have so many of these persons coming to tell us that they are part of the 884. So give us the list. Let us know. The other issues I raised. Now, there is a clear definition on who a coalition, regional coalition officer is. It didn't say that it is the regional director or the deputy. It says the commission may appoint the director or the deputy or any other person as such. So if the regulation says that the EC may appoint or the commission may appoint, please tell us the criteria, tell us the persons you are appointing. And it goes further to talk about in consultation with political parties and by extension independent presidential candidates. So how are we doing it? And that was what Omani Buama raised. And we are all just saying that, tell us how. Because I didn't say it. Bossman said that they have appointed. In consultation with who? How? That is all we're asking. You understand? So these are just...
Obviously, this may be the last IPAC meeting before the special voting on the December 2nd. Do you hope that other issues you've raised will be addressed, especially the shortfall in ballot papers?
We have raised concerns which have not been addressed. They sweep it under the carpet. We are just hoping that the God that loves Ghana will take us through. And I would ask you as a Ghanaian, do you trust the EC? I am asking you. You are all Ghanaians.
That is the referee. That is the referee, and we must all trust the EC to have a transparent process.
Do you trust him? Do you trust the EC? Do you trust the EC to do a good job? Do you trust?
You are a player in the game, so you should be telling me.
You are going to be a beneficiary of the results because you are a Ghanaian. This is your homeland. Do you think that the work being done so far by the EC is trustworthy? By standing here and witnessing this IPAC meeting, do you trust the EC?
I want to thank you very much for speaking to us. So that is the rep of Mr. Alan Koju-Tremantin and the man who has raised a number of issues. And now we see Dr. Omani Boama also stepping out of the conference hall. Let's find out from him what he makes of today's IPAC meeting generally and raising some concerns that we want to know if the EC has managed to answer their questions.
We have 7 days and few hours to the December 7 elections. We also have few days to the special vote. It is very obvious that the Electoral Commission is not prepared for this election. And we hope, shall I say pray, that over the next few days, they put their house in order. Why are we saying this? The officers who are supposed to be assisting the Electoral Commission to perform the task, you heard them there. The list is not even ready. All because they misinterpreted releasing of the list not less than 10 days to the election. Because of that, it means that whatever petitions that will be sent to them, they would have to deal with those petitions. And even if they find some of the officers as not being appropriate to perform the task, because as they said, they are now training them. We have 7 days to the elections. They are now training the officers who are going to lead us in this election. That in itself is very bad. The next point has to do with what I refer to as financial loss that the Electoral Commission is causing. We've had too many instances of ballot papers being reprinted. And the last of it had to do with voter region. Look, as I told them in the meeting, our people in the print house had the ballot statistics. The print house obeyed the ballot statistics. So the question is, how come in the voter region they identified that the ballot papers, the booklets that were sent were inadequate? It means that the ballot statistics at the print house contradict the data that the regional director and the district directors have in the voter region. That is why I was insisting that they tell us the cause of this discrepancy. Unfortunately, they just smuggled themselves through it, many words, without addressing the cause. And that in itself is at the heart of this election. When we were talking about discrepancies in the register, these are some of the manifestations. And who pays for these reprint? Is the taxpayer. The EC is causing financial loss. It may not be willful, but they are inadvertently causing financial loss to this state. Now, you are going to reprint the voter region one. Voter region alone suffered the phone start one with AHAFO, where the serial numbers had issues, and then it had to be shifted to a different company, Alt Commercial. And then we are also dealing with another issue regarding voter region that has to do with shortage. It could have been avoided if the right ballot statistics had been issued by the Electoral Commission. Let's put this aside. Another thing is the coalition officers that you heard us discuss. CI 127 does not explicitly
That's a live coverage of the IPAC meeting at the headquarters of the Electoral Commission. Just gone by, you heard the NDC's Director of Elections and IT, Dr. Omane Boama, expressing some dissatisfaction with some of the issues that came up at today's IPAC meeting. Now, for more on this particular IPAC meeting, there's news feed at 4:30. Please do stay tuned.
This festival